good morning to Sami and our senior brother Kofi. The fact is that democracy in this country is really progressing. And I think that's very, very good for us as a people. That I think we have a very vibrant, thriving democracy, even though we criticize it and sometimes I think we are too hard on ourselves. That the opposition leader organizes the media and engages them. I mean, that's a very, very good thing. And that's something that should continue. I see Cheddar also doing same. I've seen Alan Chairman do a similar one. So I've seen a lot of other political leaders doing it, which is really good. Except that it's not just enough to have the occasion. Like Kofi said, well, maybe time. But I think the former president was too dodgy. He was dodgy of a lot of the questions and the issues. He tried to play around a lot of them. There are some questions that he didn't even address at all, which is fine. For me, I don't really want to hold him to that.
It shouldn't be fine. Give us an example.
One or two. He didn't answer Sewami's specific question as to whether, when he said that
you let NDC lawyers get onto the bench. Is it a case
that he's also trying to, I mean, he wasn't quite, I also think that the media president did a very good job. They asked him a lot of questions, which has actually brought up a lot of things that his own words are being played at him, and he's now trying to find some space to adjust. It's all good. What I think was missing was probing. Again,
follow-up questions.
Exactly, okay. Because I mean, I watched from beginning to end. I would watch again tomorrow if he does it, because that is what democracy is all about. I have said and I have insisted that this 2024 elections is not going to be about emotions and about rants. It's going to be about the issues. Because thankfully, we have a population that, even if I cannot read, I have a child that has benefited from free secondary education and at least can read and decipher the issues and advise me. We are in the age of AI, fast-paced, social media. So people are a bit more discerning than we were in 1992 when it comes to electoral issues. So it's purely on issues. So I would watch again. And I feel that if the former president tells you, and he was quite emphatic, that I actually launched free SHS. I launched free SHS. And how can I be against something that I launched? And that one of his bases to support his position is that when you go on Google, you have his opponents saying that, or lauding him for launching free SHS. I think that, to be fair to the viewers, there should have been a follow-up question. Because I'm saying, I saw your face. You were there. I saw you. In fact, I have you on screenshot, which I showed 3 days ago. I saw you, and I realized that for a moment, you wish you had the opportunity to ask him.
Yeah, because my question, part of it was not fully answered.
Yes.
Because I had asked a question about what he has done and then what he will do.
Yeah.
Then he spoke about what he would do and not much of what he had done about what I had asked him about.
Exactly. So for me, and I don't want to really be taken out of context in this conversation. I have lauded him. The principle is good. We should encourage it and line up all the other political leaders to do similar ones.
So you're getting ready to do so?
I mean, engaging the media is just you talking to the people through these people. So the format doesn't have to be Kempisky with a big screen behind and with, a teleprompter and all of that. So maybe the format is what you would say, but otherwise, Dr. Bawumia engaged the media on December 4th.
Right. So Bawumia will not do this type?
We may.
Okay.
I mean, we are running a campaign and we have a strategy. This is an opposition leader that was elected in May 2023, and he's having first media engagement a year and 2 months later. Bawumia was elected on November 4th. Let's be fair to him. He's just gone around the regions for the first time. He just started his constituency tour. So I like it to put the issues into proper perspective. The fact that you've done yours a year and 2 months later, and all of a sudden you are calling me, who was elected barely 7 months, because you've done yours. Why didn't you do yours 7 months when you were elected? Why didn't you do yours 6 months when you were elected? So let's give ourselves, let's be fair to all the political.
But Bawumia is rather calling for a presidential debate.
I'll come to that.
Okay.
I mean, Dr. Bawumia on this tour what we do is that after he engages the people, he places the same microphone that was placed for the media, and the people ask him questions. He's doing it today. He did it yesterday. He did it on the entire 16 regional tour, and the people ask him the questions. Remember the famous nursing trainee? Yeah, that was one of the platforms.
Right.
So he's engaging the people, and they are asking him the same questions that the media would ask. When we are ready, based on our strategy and our timelines and our calendar, we would come and also do same, not necessarily going to Kempinski. You understand? And having a big screen. It could be in any format.
But the media would have done better research to be able to ask questions in a fashion that will be different from the ordinary person.
That cannot be entirely correct, and I'll tell you why. You met the artisans in a non-formal group in Koforidua. You can't ask better questions than them. They have associations. These are barbers associations.
Okay, that's different.
These are hairdressers.
You are correct about that.
You can't ask better questions. The nurse who asked Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia about his allowance, you can't ask better questions about the allowances than him. You get what I'm saying? So, I mean, Dr. Bawumia has made the trade union like former president has done. You can't ask better questions than them. So let's also not mix up the issues. They are experiencing, you are going to research about them, and they are going to be asking questions about them. So the format, for me, is different. And we are not going to necessarily go and follow that format. I mean, we could do regional-based media engagement. You could do constituency-based media engagement. Nanado has been engaging the media severally. In fact, on all his regional tours, you know, he's the only president that for each of the years that he stayed in office, he does a national and nationwide tour. And anytime he goes, he engages the media and is beamed, you know, across the region and the constituency. So the format is what we can speak about. But it doesn't change the fact that we also have an opportunity to talk about the substance. I mean, the former president lied if he says that he launched free SHS. And that's a matter.
Progressively free,
no, he lied. SHS. Even that, he lied. Except that if they had probed him, he would have explained what progressively free means. Because he announced that he was going to bring progressive free SHS in 2015. He did the announcement in 2014. That is what led Nanado to make that headline, which he referred to. So again, the Gen Z watching John Mahama, His Excellency, would have Googled and realized that he lied. Because the story was quite clear. The story was Nanado saying that if now the former president had recognized or seen the essence, or let me read quickly. The 2012 presidential candidate, Nanado says, the president's decision to implement free senior high school education in 2015, he was speaking in 2014, is good news for Ghanaians and should be welcomed. He says, in an interview with an Accra-based Oman FM, Nanado said if the president and his NDC government now considers free SHS education policy possible, then it's good for Ghanaians. I see this as good news. So this is when you announced. Then in 2015, everybody is looking forward to you making senior high school free. Only for us to wake up and realize that Imbo Bansa Nicholas, who is a day student at Kajaji Senior High School, is paying fees. We woke up to realize that Accra High School, which is a pure day school, no borders, are paying fees in 2015. In 2016, you realize that Aquinas Senior High School, that's a pure day school, are paying fees. In fact, the video is there where the Aquinas headmaster is sacking the students from writing exams. You have Otu Samuel paying school fees in 2016 as a day student. So clearly, what we need from former President Mahama is his definition. Then we would even understand whether we are debating with the right indicators or not. But based on what we experienced in 2015, if that is what he calls progressive free senior high school, then there is no debate. Because that is not what Nanado preached. What Nanado preached, which he fought against, is completely different from what he announced he would introduce. As a matter of fact, the former president paid 38 cedis of day student fees in 2015. 38 cedis. The day students ended up paying over 462 cedis. He paid 38 cedis. If that is the definition of free senior high school and progressive, which it could be, because he said it's progressive. So maybe this time I'm paying 38, another time I'll add 50. It's fair.
The fact about he initiating a policy in that direction.
So they are not the same policy.
Is a fact.
No, that policy is already enshrined in our constitution.
No.
So the point is that
our constitution has been in operation since 1993.
Absolutely.
So what I want to say here is, I just needed you to admit that fact, that there is a fact of a policy
announcement.
A policy
announcement
beyond announcements.
What did he do? The evidence, I have the
policy initiated for progressively free.
That is false. As a matter of fact.
Only announcement.
No, because I'm looking at a bill
for
St. Aquinas School in 2015. I mean, free means, and when you heard him, he said that he had already made day school free and had planned to enroll over 100 and something thousand bodies onto it. But day school wasn't free. This is the receipt. This is the bill. That is why I keep saying that let's separate the emotions and the rants from the fact. You can come back with another definition. And we would accept it. I would accept it. After all, he himself and some others had already experienced or enjoyed free senior high school way before the Constitution. So it's not as if it's something out of the blue. But the fact remains that Nana Addo in 2008 said that based on President Kufuor's decision to make basic education free, which had doubled enrollment, it's obvious that these people would need equal assistance at the senior high school to be able to get in. Otherwise, they will struggle.
He begins the argument by saying NDC midwifed, so to speak, the Constitution. And they put it there in the Constitution. So that was their intention.
Nobody is debating again. I want to contextualize my point. There are so many things in the Constitution that, I mean, didn't the Constitution say that we would realize true democracy when Ghana's governance becomes fully decentralized? Are we fully decentralized?
Okay.
Are we fully? No, let me make the point. We are not, so there are so many things in the Constitutions that need some enabling, which up to now we still haven't done. The fact is that Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo preached free senior high school, completely free senior high school for Ghanaian children as far back as 2008. The NDC, every functionary in the NDC, including the now General Secretary, former President Mahama himself, fought against it. And something, you see, this is a very important conversation. Now listen to this. The former president and his government says that the free SHS is not possible. In fact, the Minister for Education then, Leo Kran, emphatically said that if free SHS was that easy, Kwame Nkrumah would have done it. He's on video.
You're right.
In fact, he said that if it was that easy, Soviet Union would have implemented it. Now, Felix Kwachio Fusu, the aide to the former president, said that free SHS is a scam. It is nothing by a complete political gimmick. It doesn't make sense one bit. He's on video. The former president himself, and this is where it gets interesting, in the year 2016, this is supposed to be 2 years after he claimed he had introduced free senior high school, was on a political platform during the election campaigning period and said, we are not going to implement free senior high school on the whimsical promises of a desperate politician.
Right.
Something that he claimed he had.
Yeah, so I understand.
Something that he claimed he had introduced.
Right.
He said he was not going to implement the same thing he had implemented.
Right.
So what I think he should have done is to say that, listen, I think that this thing that we spoke against, this thing that all of us fought against, they demonstrated against it, which is on video, they sponsored adverts against it, which is fact. This thing that our General Secretary said, it is nothing but an all-lie be-lie policy. We think that it has come to stay.
Right.
Nothing wrong with that. Okay. And people are saying that when I come, I'll cancel it.
Right.
The reason why people are saying that when I come, I'll cancel it is simply this.
Okay.
All the things you said against it is evidence that you do not support it. Right. In fact, you are on record to have said that you believe some people should pay and others should not pay. So if you come and tell me that I will review, I will quickly go and reference your philosophy, your thinking around the policy. And my conclusion will be that, based on all the things you said, I can conclude that you have an intention to cancel it. Now, if you don't have an intention to cancel it, come and tell me what your position on free SHS is if I vote for you.
All right.
It is not enough when you tell me that. Yes. It is not enough when you tell me that I will review.
Okay.
Review is not a policy.
Thank you.
What is your position?
Thank you, Dennis.
SHS?
Thank you, Dennis. Look, I'm going to give you just 2 minutes of a rebuttal. Just 2 minutes.
Oh no.
We are not having a free SHS discussion. We have tabled a number of questions.
I know.
And we are assigning time to each of them.
I know, but education is important.
Because he did free SHS,
exactly.
He exceeded the time. I allowed it because he needed to conclude in a nice way.
Samson.
2 minutes of a rebuttal, and then we move on.
Samson, this is news file. This is as you always say, the most authoritative political show in this country. Your viewers are very discerning. We are entitled to our opinions, but we are not entitled to our own set of facts. Everything Dennis Miracle Aboagye, my good brother, has said on this platform are bare-faced lies.
That's not correct.
I'll demonstrate.
I can tell you
Number one, no. Don't speak for him.
For example, hold on. But I'm a host.
But you're giving me just 2 minutes, and you want to share the 2 minutes with me?
Okay, see.
No, Samson, be fair to me.
When you gave me 1 minute, you thought you were giving me the whole time in the world.
I gave you about 5 minutes to talk.
Listen.
Let's settle the issue. That's why people are watching.
Sammy, let's be careful about something.
All right.
To say that everything
he has said is a lie.
Don't repeat that.
Yes, I'm going to repeat that.
He mentions what Leo Kran said about free SHS. You can't contest that. He mentions what Fifi Kwete said about free SHS.
When I finish my response, ask me about Fifi Kwete and Leo Kran.
That is not incorrect.
Number one.
He has shown you a budget line. That is evidence. So please, let's choose our language.
Budget line of what?
He has shown you a document. If that's what you want to say.
He hasn't shown anybody a document. It
is because we can all take judicial notice of that.
Can I talk? Do I have the
floor? The issue is so popular that we don't need to say, show us the document.
All right. Samson, I am repeating.
So don't repeat it. Don't say everything he has said.
But allow me to make my point. Everything he has said
is not bare-faced lie. It is not.
Number one, he says that John Mahama only announced free SHS. He launched it through an announcement. He didn't implement it. That is what he's saying. Now, I have in my hand the last budget that was presented to Parliament for and on behalf of John Mahama.
I know about that.
The 2016 mid-year budget review, approved by both the NDC and MPP. This is an official document. Paragraph 109. This is what is contained there. Consistent with the 1992 Constitution, our commitment to make secondary education accessible, especially to needy students, the government initiated the implementation of progressively free secondary education in the first term of 2015-2016 academic year, with 320,488 day students in public senior high schools across the country. The program is to be expanded to cover 120,000 targeted boarding students in the 2016-2017 academic year. That's an official record.
Thank you.
It shows that beyond the announcement, there was implementation. And 320,488 day students in public senior high schools benefited. Now let me take you to the smoking gun. Your own budget, not one more.
One more. That will be the last point on which you conclude. We are not discussing
You are preventing me from exposing the lies. Because if you give me 5 minutes, everybody will know that everything is a lie.
Right?
Number two.
We will not do that.
I will expose it because they've been going around telling lies. We will not allow them to get away with that on Newsfile. Your show has integrity. This is paragraph 781. I'm giving you sources of official documents, not concocted documents. Paragraph 781 of the 2017 budget of Akufo-Addo read to Parliament by Ken Ofori-Atta.
Right.
This is what is there. Other social intervention in others. So let me start from 780 so that you know that he's talking about 2016. In the education sector, planned expenditure for 2016 was 6.9 million cedis, blah, blah, blah. So then he comes to paragraph 781, the next one. Other social intervention expenditures in the sector for the period under review included an amount of 71.9 million for the provision of subsidies to senior high schools, 25.96 million cedis for the implementation of progressively free SHS. This is Ken Ofori-Atta, your own finance minister.
All right.
Now, Samson, aside that, so clearly he lied. Look, it was on the 17th of September 2015 at Ekunfi Otuyam when President Mahama launched progressively free SHS and commenced its implementation. And that is why President Akufo-Addo lauded him. If you claim that President Akufo-Addo lauded him based on the mere announcement, what about the United Nations? UNESCO also lauded.
President Mahama said that has not been challenged.
UNESCO lauded President Mahama in 2017 January.
Right,
after
that has not been challenged.
So you lied again.
You, Sammy.
Let me conclude.
Sammy, please.
On the issue of Leo Kran and the rest. Listen, today in the MPP, there are people who have come out to say that free SHS is not working, like Kennedy Japan, who has said that he paid almost 10,000 cedis for a new entrant on prospectors alone. There are people like the finance minister who says that free SHS is not sustainable in its current form and that the rate should be allowed to pay. Is that the position of the government?
Definitely not.
You cannot cite the individual views. And the reason why those individuals even said that was because of what they said in opposition. The first advert they released on Free SHS in 2008 said that Free SHS, they created the impression that all you needed to do was to bath, go to school, and
right. Thank you, Sammy.
You came and implemented Free SHS progressively.
Thank you.
Starting with
Kofi, you hold on for me. I'll give you a minute, but hold on for me. If you are
told the people of this country that you were going to do it progressively with Form 1s and then expand it to Form 2, Form 3,
thank you.
Those people would not have made those comments then.
Thank you.
So context is important.
Dennis, in the next 2 minutes, I'll hold you to it. 2 minutes.
Samson, you see, I keep saying,
okay,
2024 is a different ballgame, a different period.
You guys, today you got me to activate my timer. Just the two of you.
Now, it's all a matter of fact.
Right.
And you see, it's not enough when you listen to yourself and set your own questions. You heard me say that, at best, the progressive free SHS that His Excellency Mahama implemented was 38 cedis for a day student. Did you hear that?
Yes, you limited it to his definition.
Exactly. So if you go and pick a budget, he should multiply.
That's why I insisted
he should divide. Yeah, because he's wrong. And here he is peddling false. Please. I beg you. Sammy, when you were speaking, I was quiet.
Sammy, please hold on.
I mean, you listen to yourself.
Go on.
I was quite specific, and I choose my words carefully. I don't just speak. When you hear me speak, I choose my words carefully. The budget line that you referred to is the 38 cedis that former President Mahama paid, and that is why in that year, which you claim, you launched free SHS for day students, for which reason you were even planning to bring on board these students. Day students of Aquinas, Accra High, and every day student in the year 2015 in Ghana received a bill of not less than 400 cedis and paid their school fees, including furniture fees, WASE registration, and what have you. Today, under...
Dennis, don't react to him. Go on.
So don't sit on TV and just peddle. Now, again, I did not claim that Nanado was lauding an announcement. Nanado's interview was with Fifi Boafo on Man FM in 2014. There was no free progressive, so-called progressive free.
As for that, you said that he was lauding the announcement.
Exactly.
Right.
So it cannot be the case. So don't come and say he claimed that Nanado. The fact is that Samson, Nana Adodankwa Ekufuado launched free SHS. Former President Mahama should be magnanimous, including his spokesperson. It is completely disrespectful to the people of this country. It's an insult to every single poor child in this country. With all the things they said against Free Senior High School, did against it, including in the year 2016. What he said, now that is even not a worry. Even after Free SHS had been implemented, former President Mahama said that it was going to collapse the Ghanaian education. He went on to even lambast the students of beneficiaries of this Free SHS education. Then you come back in 2024. Good thing. You love it. You realize that the people love it and cherish it. So you want to now clinch on it for an election. Right. No problem.
Thank you, Dennis.
Tell the people that, you know what, I think the way this thing is being done, I have a much more improved way of doing it.
Yes,
and this is how.
Okay.
Something. When you say review, it's review a policy.
Okay.
So that lack of respect for the people of Ghana, that attempt to steal a policy that you campaigned against, demonstrated against, and protested against, and then the confidence to even continue to sit on TV and peddle falsehood.
Thank you, Dennis.
It's most disrespectful to the people.
No, don't do that.
But
you can't be replying every word.
I'm just giving you the receipt. Saint Aquinas, go to TV3. Yes, go to TV3. Yes.
You are lying.
Hold on. Aquinas secondary school. Is there a body?
Where is the document?
Hold on. Is there a body?
I cited of
relax. Oh, calm down.
Gave you my reference.
Aquinas,
where are the documents?
The headmaster is on video. The headmaster of Aquinas is on video.
All students paying 400 cedis
yes,
Ghana.
Sacking students.
That's a bare
You are a liar.
Stop lying.
A complete liar.
Sammy.